All right, good evening. Today is March 23rd, 2023. Opening the Board of Health meeting. It is 6:05 PM. Roll call, please.
Nicole Duffy?
Here.
Anthony Costali?
He's absent, excused.
Thank you. Dan Grabowski?
Yes.
Paige Sitka?
Yes.
Jasmine Canonas?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. And agenda item number 3, accepting the minutes. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have not gotten a chance to go through those minutes
I did
myself.
read that link
So
today.
very nicely done.
Thank you.
I didn't
That
get a
was
chance to go
hard.
through
Really
those.
trying.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I did not.
I appreciate it. I'm always nervous
No, you
about
did
the
a really great
minutes.
job. Thank you.
So you read them and I read
So,
them.
yeah, so I can make a motion?
Yeah.
Did you? I'd like to
Yes, you-
table them just because I haven't
Oh,
gotten a
I'm so
chance to
sorry.
read through
Okay,
those,
we can
yeah. I don't know if,
Is that a motion?
yeah, I'm gonna make a motion to table the minutes. I was gonna ask you that first.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I said, I didn't realize that.
That's okay.
No worries.
So I'm making a motion. Anybody want to second that?
I'll second
To
it.
table it?
Dan
Thank you.
seconded.
you.
Jasmine Canonas?
Yes.
Okay.
Paige Sitka?
Yes.
Dan Grabowski?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and this- especially since Tony's not here too on top of that, so it's not
And
just me.
Nicole Duffy?
Yes.
Thank you. Minutes are tabled.
Okay. Agenda item number 5, COVID update. Discuss the current status and act on anything there too.
You missed agenda number 4.
I am so sorry. Well, there's no one here. Sorry. Agenda item number 4, citizens forum. And
Be
no one's here. So I'll make a motion to close that up. Is there a second to close up citizens forum?
Oh, we usually don't have.
Oh, we don't have to, sorry. I'm on a roll.
That's it.
I'm going ahead. No, stop. Okay. And we're on agenda item number 5, COVID update. Everybody's got their flyers here, which are awesome. Greatly appreciated.
You're welcome. Give you a chance to review. I would
Daniel,
just say
do you
the
have
infection rates and the incidence is still fluid, but it, ticking downward. And then back up. So, volatile.
I saw the,
Where's your
the
Bible?
graph
Yeah, it
there.
just, it continues.
I saw the
this-
graph, yeah.
This, roller coaster, right? We are no different than other parts of northeast Massachusetts and presumably the country.
Seems to be around that same age bracket though, that seems to kind of peak, huh?
That's right.
Between the 50, 64.
Yep.
Well, it was a little bit higher in, for the 30, 49 though, but that was, but generally speaking, yeah, that's the age bracket. Check that other one I want to take a look at.
I got a question. Is there a reason for that? Is it because people aren't getting shots, or is it just that the older you get, the more that
Yeah, it's a vulnerable, like, age.
Well, and suppressed and compromised individuals. I mean, you have the young and the old.
Because I've
The
never
old-
gotten COVID, but
Good for you.
But I've had 3 shots. But I also had the flu, and I had the flu about a week after I had a flu shot.
You had the flu, right? The last time?
Right,
Yes.
102 point something.
Out. And I have to tell you, I've been hearing worse stories regarding flu symptoms than COVID.
Yes, I had both there.
I mean, I have to tell you, on the upside and the positive, Brianna, our regional epidemiologist, did indicate that there were no flu cases in Southbridge this month. And this
Wow.
was reported on the 13th of March.
It's early,
Wow.
right? Yeah, I had it early.
Right?
No, there was a ton of flu before, that's amazing.
Yes.
Went through that one, good for you.
Right?
I didn't, but, oh,
Yeah, that's, just want to take a look at the hospitalizations. 2 hospitalizations, okay. Just taking a look at that.
vaccine history.
I apologize if there was some mixing up. I made copies yesterday with other departments sharing the printer and
Okay, that's right. So no other issues in that realm that you've heard?
no.
Does anyone else have any questions or issues with that? Okay, good. All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Agenda item number 6, old business, the blight update. How's
Well,
that
in
going?
regards to the blight update, I have been attending to some locations of properties that are in need of attention.
Okay.
Particularly Thomas Street, we've identified,
Is that a new one? or is that
30,
a-
36 and,
That's
you know,
not
just, that's the total.
Okay.
But more importantly, 20 Brick Row. A dwelling that was condemned years ago by the previous inspectional team. I recall reading out there in 2020, so it remained condemned, aborted and secured to a degree as best as possible. But the degradation of the building and the structural integrity is significantly compromised. I mean, there's, this one to show you, there's actually, this part of the roof has collapsed, exposing all the interior cavity to the elements, so it's just continuously degrading, shifting, etc. Mike Julie and I went out there, building inspector, and he told me that this really needs to come down.
Yeah, that's been a,
In fact,
that's
it's been just
been a
sitting
lot
there,
for a
and it
long
just
time, yeah.
worsens, and it shifts, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
So, with that said, I'm hoping to speak with the town council pertaining to this.
Yeah.
There is money in our budget that is, it's a reserve fund specifically for this purpose, demolition.
Where does it belong to?
The inspectional
Oh, okay.
services. It's a sum of about $180,000. Roughly, a demolition can cost upwards to $60,000 now. I mean, that's contingent upon what they find, asbestos, et cetera.
yeah.
Contaminants, you know. But in regards to public health and safety, this is an important one that has to be addressed.
Dan, you
Starting-
have a list of like condemned buildings that you want like to prioritize? Do you do that or?
I am accruing that. We have a list of properties that are ongoing, have concerns, are on the white list.
Okay.
Okay? I also, this is coupled with tax title foreclosures that the town has recently taken, and all the government-owned properties. And collectively getting this information together with the hope that the new treasurer, when she is in place, and I believe this will take place in April, will assume the role of addressing these properties in regards to putting them up for auction.
That makes sense.
A hopeful tactic, getting them back on the tax roll and certainly alleviating some of the public safety concerns, meaning somebody purchases them and rehabs them.
Right.
Otherwise, if they sit like this, time is just wearing it down and it worsens by the month, so even a day. But when I was out there, this significantly of concern. Now, there's others, but we're gonna start at one and see if we can progress to others. Now, that will certainly be, again, contingent upon approval, town council, and budgetary concerns. That's something that I will take lead on and see how it goes. I'm positive something will come out of it, but ultimately, it's time to address these patients.
Not to mention that property has a hole in the roof too. About
It
about the
does.
size of a
It
car.
does.
When you drive by there, you can almost see it from
You're right. Yep.
going towards, Big Bunny, because it's right in that area.
Yes.
And it's gonna,
Yeah.
Yep.
that's in,
Yep.
and 36 Thomas, I know that one too. 36 Thomas is beat
The-
up.
Yes, it is. It is.
Because Andy was, before you came, Andy was already mentioned this property.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. You know.
Yeah, that one's been a long time
But
coming,
that
yeah.
brick row one, that's a scary one, because the
It
house on
is.
the side of it, people live in that house.
Yeah, and they're very close.
And that's
yeah,
very,
the butters are
and that's
Yeah.
a feet away.
much.
That's concerning, yeah.
I mean, literally.
Sure, and the road is literally right here, right in front of the porch, with a 10-foot buffer, really, if that. So we do have major concerns with this location, and the other ones that follow will be addressed hopefully in due time. But again, we're accruing a list and asking the advice of the building inspector for him to really give us an assessment of whether these locations could be rehabbed, or do they really need to go into demolition?
I know the priority at this point, like which is the worst at this point, I would think, if you're gonna take it one thing at a time, you know?
Yeah, I mean, again, being the worst, and then just moving down the list,
Mhm.
what I've seen going through the list myself, and I've been out the last couple of weeks looking at these locations, this one really just, again, sticks out to me. Again, I'm counting on, like, Julian's expertise and his input as to
Right.
what the structural conditions may be. This one's you said, Dan, a no-brainer. I mean,
Actually,
it's
that-
collapsed to the,
That picture right
The
there
point of
gives
no
you
return.
justice. Because if you look at the rest of the place, I mean, it's nasty.
So yeah, so we're weighing out, public safety concerns on one side, and then on the other side, the possibility of a property being rehabbed and salvageable
Right.
to a degree.
Yeah.
Those are the factors that come at play, but we are being diligent and again, analyzing what needs to be addressed first.
Do you have an idea of time-wise, how long that'll probably take as far as, like you and Mike getting together and kind of determining that and then bringing that to the town council?
Well, we'd like to get that going in the next couple weeks, a few weeks, at least speaking with the town council pertaining to this. And then it's a matter, I assume, of getting bids, at least 3 bids
Yeah.
for demolition.
Well, that's why I asked,
think
because
this
I
is
know
what
it
Mike
takes a
said.
while with the whole, when it comes to the bids and everything, so.
Sure,
I know
and
that takes a
then
long
again,
time.
there's a lot of variables at play. It's budget season and on the
Mm-hmm.
agenda, but we've got it. That's my hopes. That realistically, next month or so, to address this fully. But again, it's been sitting, this building idle in this condition for this long, and it just worsens. So a decision has to be made, but that starts with the health department identifying that there is certainly a
How many buildings total do we have on that list right now?
well, this is, let's see, on a list that we're accruing for blight concerns or
The current ones that we
foreclosure.
have now, blight.
Blight?
Yep. Because you're gonna go through, you and Mike are gonna assess the whole list of blight, you're not going just with the possibility of the,
Well, I'm discovering more.
Okay.
For instance, the locations on Main Street, condemned one. Could you give that address? Do I forget the?
5783 Main Street.
The-
It's the one on the corner of Ash and Main.
Right, there's one on Ash Street.
There's 2 very large dwellings that have been sitting, both half boarded up, but
Right.
being used by squatters
Right.
and dumping.
Which almost takes up Ash Street, so there's Ash Street.
Correct.
Yes,
There's
yes.
also one on Hamilton Street, right, that big blue house,
The big
Yes.
blue one.
which is up for sale again. It went up from 104 to 169,000. Someone's still trying to sell that. I mean, that's a lot of money for a condemned
Yeah.
house.
yeah. Well, that's the thing, it takes a long time, it's
And,
just,
I mean,
So to answer that, I would say collectively, we have on the list 6 addresses that are concerning.
okay,
Okay. Again, this list also includes demolished properties that
right,
from 2018 on, that
And properties that.
under
were sold.
rehab or reoccupancy, which is good, and a category here for ongoing, whether the deed has been conveyed to a new owner and things are moving. But there are certainly priority concerns. So, in any case, we want to build a completely new list going by different
Right. Probably a list of
different
priorities.
information that
Yeah.
that is given to us from other departments, namely the assessors, treasurers, collectors. We want to combine all those efforts.
Okay.
That is really an update on our blood. It's
When
in-
you, are you gonna be speaking with Mike, when you plan on speaking to Mike about this?
well, it's been ongoing discussions.
Okay,
What we hope to do.
well, the next time you
Yeah,
plan on
yeah.
speaking, I get it.
I could give you a more thorough update the next time we meet, but in alignment of what the project will involve is certainly going to each and individual locations that are concerning with Mike.
Yeah, oh, no, and I get that, but I
Yeah.
mean, I guess my concern is the things that have been on that list for a long time, that we know about. I'm just wondering if, at this point, if we could at least get like a top 10 at this point, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Of the ones that have been on the list for a long
Yeah,
time,
yeah, sure, we could do that.
Just because no good's coming out of, like that, sitting on
Sure,
there for
we
that
can give
long,
you that to
know?
prioritize
Yeah,
and take
yeah,
into account,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, I wonder if you could just at least get that and, we'll look at that just
I
because
think
it's been
that
so
will,
long, yeah,
that certainly will
yeah.
start, be conducive to this, and I'm sure I'll be asked from the town council members as this list. But the starting point, just to reiterate and emphasize, we
Yeah.
wanna go directly to the locations that are of highest risk,
Okay.
and this being, in my assessment, the top one.
Do you think it would be reasonable if we could maybe get maybe a top 10 list maybe in about 2 weeks? Could we get that?
Yeah.
Okay. If we could just,
Fair
if you
enough.
could,
I could
if
do
you
that.
if you could email that to us, that'd be great. Yeah,
Sure.
just so we can, that'd be great.
Because I have to say, again, with budget season here,
Right.
the agendas are going to be probably inundated with all sorts of other things. Not to downgrade the importance of this, but it's just take a little bit of time. But I can certainly get
understand.
all the
Yeah,
board
yeah.
members a top 10 list,
Yeah.
and then I
understand
can
the
follow up and we can discuss
Yeah.
via email or next board meeting as to what the action plan may be or
Yeah.
intent. Yeah.
list. Yeah, no, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay.
And do you ever recruit people to go around walking with you? Is that what
Well, I have the inspectional team,
I don't know
the
why I
muscle,
asked that. I
but
don't even know why I asked that, to be honest.
No,
I have
it's,
no reason
I'm
why I
confident.
asked
Maybe you're
that.
curious.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, I don't even
If
know
you'd
why
like
I
to
asked
join, please let us know.
that. No, I don't, I don't know. I'm gonna
No,
go.
first, do
I'm
you,
gonna go. I got a lot on my
certainly
mind.
for security purposes, yes, but to get a better
Nothing
understanding.
going on in your life.
We do count on the building inspector.
I think Maritz is right. I think maybe a part of me was curious to go into the properties and see them all condemned, the show hoarders, the hoarders.
If
show.
you're ever inclined, and give us a call.
Thank you.
It's an eye opener,
Yeah.
believe
Yeah,
you me.
Yeah.
so
That's exactly
Yeah.
what it is, and I.
It is nice.
Sad.
oh, I bet, yeah. It's a lot. But then it makes me sad too because there's so many people who are living without homes, without housing, and the numbers are just skyrocketing. I wish there was a way that we could rehab these homes.
Sure.
And, build, make something out
Agreed,
of it.
agreed.
Instead of spending $180K in demolition work, I don't
Agreed.
know. That's it.
Yeah.
It's just.
Agreed. But the whole process, again, entails a thorough assessment, and
Yeah.
to be again, from our standpoint, in that analytical sense of, and again, I revert this back to Mike Julian, where his input is so important, whether he believes these can be rehabbed.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know?
Oh, absolutely.
Certainly, we want to do that.
Yep, absolutely.
That'd be the best outcome with the need, and we do have that list of properties that the town has taken back.
Oh, okay.
For certain situations, and and they're all title foreclosures. And here we've probably got a list. And again, it's just not dwellings, it's parcels too, land parcels.
Okay.
And they sit. So why not, again, in my opinion, theory, at least have them up for auction, get them used, rehabbed, get them back on the tax roll in use, cleaned up, etc. It's just a positive strategy.
I just
to
feel like,
take.
especially in this, in this climate we're in, we're gonna see more. Again, people aren't being able to afford things and let
Right.
them
Oh,
go,
for sure.
and
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can just see that getting out of hand quick,
A lot of foreclosures.
and
for sure.
unnecessary. You know what I mean? Again, if people know the resources and whatnot, they could get help maybe, and that'll be a win-win, both ends.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, so we've got this, and along the lines here is when we do institute and enact condemnations, our hope is to have something done within a year, because the law states within 1 year after the Board of Health condemns, secures and things, we can demolish the property. And that's really up to our decision, And for instance, this location has been over 3 years.
Oh yeah, that one definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
So again, prioritizing
Mhm.
is what we've got to do. But I will certainly get you a list. Absolutely.
Okay, sounds
That'd
good.
be No problem.
That'd be great.
Mhm.
Ready to move on? Yep. Okay. And- Okay, and ongoing discussion on community mental health needs. Guys, I'm gonna go to you first.
Huh?
I'm gonna go to you first about the mental health needs. If there's any thing you want to share, anything, any new or
Yeah, I mean, a lot going on. I was able to, and it's not public knowledge yet, but I was able to secure another respite in Dudley on Nelco Ave.
oh, awesome.
And yeah, so we're gonna be I'm gonna be opening up a 4-bedroom respite to start. Again, that will be it's gonna be considered a crisis alternative, and it's gonna be free for those who are gonna be utilizing it. There's no insurance. There is a referral process.
Nice.
And a screening process that individuals have to go through. The property does have the opportunity to go all the way up to 6 bedrooms, but I'm gonna start it off at 4 just because I run other respites. So I'm just trying to, so this would be my 3rd one, and so I just, on top of, I took a promotion as director of programming for my company, so.
Oh, congratulations, that's awesome.
It just encompasses kind of just, the work I was already doing.
It's all connected, yeah.
So,
It's always all
yeah,
connected,
no,
right?
it's just like a solid title, not like director of like 20 things. So we have an ongoing joke at work that's like, oh, Jasmine's the director of many things. So we just we need a front and back. So we just summed it up a little. But I'm just really happy that we're
That's awesome.
able to provide that resource to what we consider South County. And I mean, yeah, it's time to start getting some services up and going.
And this is just overall crisis. It's not like just pertaining to, like substance abuse or anything like that.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
I mean,
anybody in crisis.
the definition of a crisis is,
It's any crisis,
it really
okay.
is just, it's really a blank slate to
Awesome.
me, and whatever one constitutes as a crisis, I'm always
That's awesome,
happy to, listen.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna be starting in a month or so also, a grandparents raising grandchildren meeting in Spanish only at my office. And a lot of that will also be through a referral process, but I will also have open times for a community that would like to join. And that came about through the large number of grandparents raising grandchildren in this area, Spanish speaking, and that are taking on their grandchildren due to their kids being either incarcerated or through opioid crisis or just through traumatic instances and traumas. So that's going to be another group that's going to be offered, and just kind of trying to, you know,
Awesome.
play my part and, you know, in what I do and being able to provide free services and.
So for the respite, they could call Kiva or even walk over
Yeah,
there and
so-
ask, and that's how they start it? Is
Yeah,
that how they
so
do it?
on our website,
Just so everybody knows.
yeah, so, you know, one of these days, we'll do a little slideshow. And so on our website, on the kivacenters.org, you're gonna see a tab that says services, and then it's gonna say respite, and then it's gonna give you the name of the respite, and then, you know, you just kind of.
It just follows along.
Yeah, and it's a small recommendation process. Once you fill out that recommendation, it goes directly to me.
Awesome.
You know, I review it, I screen it, I call it the individual back, I make a plan, and then from there, you know, I make a safety plan with them, you know, where are you gonna go after you leave
Yeah.
the respite? Because a safety transition plan is never to set people up for, so they're in a worse situation than they came in with, you know, it's always to set people up, you know, so they're in better space. So like folks who are living without a home sometimes can't get accepted because even though housing is a crisis, but I don't wanna have a discharge plan to be the streets, right? Like, so I never really did anything for
Right,
you
right,
immediately,
right.
you know, so there's
Yeah.
just a lot, and there's a lot of bureaucracy and nuances that go into all this, so.
Mm-hmm. Right. No,
Anyways,
that's
but
why I was saying it's
leave
the
those to me
criteria,
to
yeah.
worry about, you know, so,
Mm-hmm.
but, you know, yeah, but I'm just really, really just excited that, you know, Dudley was like, yeah, you know, and they were all
That's
in,
awesome.
and, you know, a lot of towns are not as friendly with me when I come and, you know, I sit in front of their boards and I say, hey, by the way, I want to open up, I want to, just me, I want to open up a mental health place in your backyard and, you know, so.
Yeah.
And Bellingham was one of those. So, but yeah, I mean, got to keep pushing it, right? And pushing and pushing and pushing. And my level of violence and policing, actually, in the 3 years that I've been doing this, has actually, believe it or not, has only been 2%.
That's great.
Really?
Yep, I've had to call the police on, and not even for anything really serious.
Wow.
Only 4 times.
Oh
in
my
the
God,
3
that's
years.
incredible.
Yeah.
You Bellingham, you had trouble?
Oh.
You know what? So did we. I worked in
Did I
DBS world,
ever?
yeah. They were very vicious.
It
They
took me
were-
6 months just to get a licensing,
And
operational
there were a lot of
licensing.
complaints
Oh my
went back to
God.
their.
Oh, we spent money on
That's-
top of money, and they were hard at one point. I've never like had, you know, played the racial card, but I'm saying to myself, I'm like, is this like has
No,
to
it's-
do
it's
with
a-
because I'm a
lack of
girl,
knowledge,
or
no.
you know, like they kept calling me kid at these meetings, and I'm like, I'm 35, like I'm not a kid, and you know, so they were like kid,
Not
kid,
very
kid,
kid.
kid, and I was like, oh,
Be a
the
compliment.
they were like, the kid's here, and I'm like looking for a child, and they were talking about me. I'm like, yeah, so we're like, oh, the kid's here. And so,
Oh, no.
The only reason I think people like Jasmine was saying in Dudley, when you come in and sit in front of somebody, say, well, open up a mental illness place, and say, oh no, mental illness is not in our town. No, we don't
oh,
have
for
it."
sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what scares people. It's not that
It
she
does,
doesn't
yeah.
scare
Right.
people,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if somebody knew a
There's
little
that
bit of what's
stigma.
going on,
Yeah.
they would say this is a great service. A person who puts a lot of time into it,
Right.
but that, for most people, you know, like when they hear that, they automatically think the worst.
Well, they think about looting. They think about,
You know,
you
they
know,
don't
like
think
people
about-
hanging
Right.
out in front of their properties. They
Right.
got
They don't think
children.
about the good. You know what I mean?
You know,
It's stereotype. Yeah, it's
I
stereotyping.
know one time I was, you know, when I was younger, I said, no, I would probably thought the same way, but the older you get, and, you listen to people like Jasmine, or people like yourselves, you get to learn things, and all of a sudden, like, wow, really?
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting at. But people hear that and they get excited. They may not get excited, but they get weary. What do you mean mental people? We don't know. This is Dudley. You don't have any mental people here.
Yeah,
But you know what I'm
so,
saying?
but
But
their
they
numbers
get-
speak differently
They
because
think
they're
the
at
worst.
60% right.
You know, people just think the worst
Yeah.
things, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
South
Oh, yeah.
County actually has one of the highest opioid crisis numbers in a lot of even like some of the other cities, and we've actually didn't do so well during COVID either. So you know, so the need is there,
No.
and you're telling us because we're seeing it statistically. So
Right.
and I'm not making this stuff up. So you know, and so but anyways, that's you know. So anyways, we're just playing our part in doing what it is that we can, you know, for our community, and you know, to make sure that you know we have some services, you know, available, and obviously, you know, as the warmer weather starts picking up, obviously, we still got the community coverage in place, and you know,
Those are
just
great.
to come other projects
Yeah.
that you know I've had that are still gonna continue. I am looking for a new location for an office, so if anybody knows of anywhere that, you know, would like a mental health program, an office, I am. I'm just really tired of VTT. I'm just really done with the way they treat their tenants and just, I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
I just can't do it. I can't run a professional business with, you know, with that level of management. And I
No.
think we've done what we could, as you know, Nicole, for many
You went
years.
above and beyond.
We've done it, yeah, and I
You
think
did.
we're all checked out now, though.
Mhm.
And, you know, it's too bad, because, you know, we've been really good tenants.
It'll be
And we
their
pay a
loss.
lot of money to
Well,
be
yeah.
there,
It'll be their loss.
you know, yeah, so, we
Okay.
give nobody no kind of trouble, and I put a lot of money into the space, and, you know, but I just can't, you know.
How much square footage are you looking for?
You know, I don't have anything in particular, but I will say that I am a little bit, not picky, but, I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say that I would love something this time around with like a private office, so where I can close the door.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a lot of like meetings that happen, and when
Okay.
the community's there, cause we have open community times, I can't have private conversations with like DMH or board
Sure, of course.
meetings, because it's all out in the open.
In Southbridge or in South County?
I'd love to be able to stay in Southbridge
Okay.
just because,
That's
you know,
what
other
it is.
towns have other
Yes,
servicing
they
and we don't have it. So, I mean, I'd love to, but I am open to, you know, like Sturbridge, Dudley, Webster even, you know, if I had to, so.
Yeah, it'd be great to continue. the
And I know
works.
that
So
sometimes,
transportation's better?
yeah, exactly. So, I do have a contract with, the community shuttle where I could like shuttle people,
Oh, okay.
but you know, that can be difficult for folks too, so.
That's fine.
Yeah, so, you know, so if I know the best plan is always the word of mouth, you know, sometimes
Yeah.
you pay a lot of money for a realtor and then all of a sudden somebody else tells you about something, you're like,
Yeah.
so, yeah, so those are just kind of like the plans. I just got back from Philadelphia doing some great work out there and, yeah, just really, yeah,
That's
just
awesome.
doing what I do. Yeah, just
I
doing
know,
what I do.
that's awesome.
So,
Thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
exactly.
Yeah.
I know. That's really exciting to hear about, though, that secure, that
yep,
respite.
I'll be
That's
36
awesome.
soon, so I'll be all grown up.
I just want to
Oh,
say
going
the farmer's market located at the YMCA, that's a
YMCA.
big hit.
And it's gonna be
The
outside
foot
soon.
traffic there is amazing.
So I'm gonna do two now. I'm gonna leave one day there, and then I'm still gonna go back out in the common. So pretty soon, y'all will see
The
like.
common or the Central Street parking?
You know what? I wanted to do the common.
Yeah, because you did the Central Street
Do you
before.
think should leave
She
it
did
at
that
Central
last
Street?
year.
Leave it on Central Street, huh?
I
Yeah.
think so,
All
because
right,
you get
let's
all
leave
your
it there then.
walkers there.
I do, yeah,
Yeah.
actually.
And that's important.
But
Yeah.
somebody had said, oh, you should do it at the. But then people gotta walk all the way down
It's
there.
longer.
All right, let's leave it on
And people
Central
just
Street.
drive by the rotary and say, oh, I'll come back later and
Also, yeah.
forget about it. I think Central Street parking lot would
Yeah.
be ideal.
Then settle. We'll leave it on Central Street.
Thank you.
Check it out, yeah.
Yeah, it'll work.
I think-
And then the
I
hot
think so.
dog guy comes with the hot dog cart.
We want to make it lively
Yeah,
there.
yeah, and so, and then this year, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna let organizations set up informational tables there. So like, if like the Board of Health came, or
Right.
you know, you Inc. or somebody, so
Again,
that way it
connecting
can just be,
everybody.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, so.
Seeing what's out there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so, so I'm gonna put in, obviously, my request for the licensure or the permit, probably pretty
For the
soon.
parking lot.
Yeah, for the
Mhm.
parking lot.
To secure that
Yeah,
area.
so I usually do it, usually from like the beginning of May until like, we did it, until like November.
Yeah.
And then we
Because of
took a
the
little
size.
hiatus, and then I was tired, and then I bought it back, and so, yeah, but it's been going really
That
great.
went for a while.
The foot traffic
So
there is
I've been
crazy.
able to feed, I think it was something, I know it's gonna sound really wild, but 678 individuals for free
That's
throughout, the farmer's market
Mm.
program.
Nice.
And a dozen eggs there only cost you $4, by the way.
Wow.
So,
I don't know, they had it at 6 yesterday.
well, so depending on the farmer, sometimes you have to like go up a
Oh,
little,
so it fluctuates,
so,
okay.
yeah, so,
That makes sense.
But at any point like that, like individuals can't pay, like if they're like, hey, last week it was 4 and this week it was this, you're always gonna get rendered whatever the other price was, so.
Cool.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Where are
Yeah.
your other respites locations?
I have one in Bellingham and I have one in Worcester.
So this will be your third one done?
This will be my third one, yep.
Nice.
Actually, since we're on that
Nothing in
topic,
Southbridge?
what's that?
Nothing in Southbridge?
I know.
Okay.
That'd be great.
I couldn't find anywhere to
know.
rent to me.
I know.
I tried
know it.
for like a year to get people
Yeah.
to rent to me.
I know.
And I had a location almost nailed on Harrington Street, and I was gonna dump almost like 3K into
That was really
300
close too. You were
300K.
like so close to that.
I was like on the, pretty much my attorney was there, I was there, the ink
Yeah.
was wet,
Yeah.
and then he withdrew. Yep. And I was like
That's
really upset.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I tried for a year to get a place here in Southbridge,
Yep.
and they everywhere was like nope, 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 and so yeah, no, I tried. Trust me, I tried. Southbridge was my first option.
Yeah.
So
We'll find something.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, on that note, I want to mention, whether it's our next meeting or the meeting after that, what I want to try to do is, we were talking about from the presentation we had at the library, about the housing. I made connections with, Joe from UINC and Stephanie from Open Sky.
oh yeah, yeah.
And I'd like to extend an invitation for them to come, and actually, I'm thinking someone, maybe from, St. Luke's Guest House, so that way we can all kind of be here, and I'd love to hear from them, what they're thinking as far as like, hey, what what's like the red zones, like what do we need help with and so forth. We're talking about the money, like how we best spend that. I think that's, that's key to know. Well, they're out there in the community. I mean, I know you are as well.
Right,
but-
sure, yeah.
And I'm sure even from that, like, we'll probably find out even more resources, you know what I mean?
Sure.
That always happens, it's always the way, That's why it was so surprising even at the library, like, that was great,
Yeah.
just connect and, I think Open Sky is right on the street, so that'd be perfect, so.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to do that and see what we come up with.
You just learn about what's in our backyard.
It's incredible, it's really incredible. Okay. let me- Agenda item number 7, new business. Beautify Southbridge. It's about that time.
How is everyone? Because I just popped in. I don't
It's
think
really good,
anybody
Emily.
got
How are you?
Thank you.
I'm good.
Flyer.
I think that's it.
That looks awesome
Do you
already.
want one, Taylor?
I love one, thank you.
All right. So far we've obviously had our flyer going. Maritza ordered the signs through Center of Hope to be made so we can have those and the banner. Right? How many signs did we get in total? Like 29? 29
All different sizes.
Oh,
yeah.
awesome.
different sizes to put around through town.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so other than that, Jasmine graciously offered to donate some refreshments to us for our volunteers.
Awesome.
Yeah, we were doing refreshment and snacks, right? Like granola bars or something like that.
Yeah,
Is that
if you
what
have
we're
that. Whatever you have, I mean,
Granola bars, water we talked
Water.
about.
doing? Yeah, and
If
like
you have, like,
oranges
fruit-
or something.
fruit
Yeah, yeah.
drinks,
Up the
yeah.
day.
So we could just actually talk to the farmer's market and then have them like bring.
Get some mangoes and then.
What?
Oh
No,
my!
just kidding.
No, this is a fruit salad.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, she's gonna do fruit salad.
And like, yeah. So, but no, for sure, we could definitely get that.
Yep.
Cool.
And so we'll just, like, the closer we get to the date, then we'll order, like, whether we're
Yeah.
ordering in bulk through Amazon or whatever, and
Okay.
just do it that way.
Okay, yeah,
And then
whatever
as far as
timeline
the
you
fruit,
need.
I can talk to the farmer's market and have it either come to my office or come here, like the week, because it's Wednesday's the farmer's market, so.
Okay, thank you.
Do you accept donations from anybody to buy any of this
And
stuff?
cash only.
No.
Well, that's what I mean. I feel,
All right.
I feel an ethics test anyway, I can't get. But anyway, I mean, I have two things to say. If you need help in the morning to drag the tables out and the chairs and stuff like that, of course,
Yeah.
I'll be here for that.
Thank you.
Because
Yeah,
I helped,
thank you. Yep.
well, last year I got here at 8:30 and I noticed everything was out already. And then, I mean, I stayed with Andy when everybody was picking up, but this year I'll pick up, but
awesome.
I helped put away.
Awesome.
Thank you.
But I
Thank
know
you.
if you need,
Yep, no, that's great,
I
yeah.
know you need help. And, I'll be there for
Yeah.
that. Just give me a time.
Mark your
And-
calendar,
And
everybody.
I can't go to the store and buy granola bars.
We'll
But I-
take care of that.
Can I make a small donation to help out after this? It's not a brag thing.
Now, this is a
So
collective
so this way
effort
to help out with some of the stuff, I don't know, maybe $100, can I donate $100
towards the refreshments and everything.
to the refreshments?
Yeah,
To help out?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you can
after the
absolutely do
meeting, I
that,
can
yeah.
We
just
need new grabbers too.
Just donate $100
Yeah,
towards
absolutely, yeah.
buying some of the
Yeah.
stuff.
questions?
Because if you're gonna send me to the store to buy stuff, I'll be coming back with magic beans.
That's awesome.
So I'll do that, so I'll
Thank
get
you. Thank
on
you so
those two
much.
accounts.
Very
Thank you,
good.
Dan.
No problem.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like, as many people as can come for helping the trash, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
let your friends and family
Yes,
know.
absolutely, yeah.
If you have any questions, if you can't make it on the day, just a reminder that we do the volunteer at as you go program, so you can come and rent for free grabbers, bags, gloves, all of that to pick up at your leisure. So if you
Right.
can't make the event, you can still help out the community.
Right.
Does anyone
you.
have any questions? No?
I know that last year, Jason, the athletic director from Southbridge High, is that his name, Jason? Good gentleman, because he helped us out with the holiday visions too. For some reason, he gets these recruits. They're very well mannered.
Yeah, I had invited him for this
haven't
past
seen
year, and he
Okay.
wasn't able to do it. I guess, I think, if memory serves, I think there was some sort of game going on or something, and he was out with the students or something, so he couldn't.
So he can't make it this
He
year?
wasn't, no, last year,
Oh,
he wasn't
last-
able to.
For the fall cleanup, he wasn't able to do it.
Oh, no,
because
Yeah,
he
for the
had
fall,
football
yeah,
or
for the
something.
fall. Oh, yeah, no, so you're talking about this, I'm sorry.
Right.
Did you
Yeah,
reach
it was
out
the
then
last
to,
one.
like the schools and like the boy, like the Boy Scouts and like
That's
all
the
that?
plan. We have a list put together, but we are trying to. We probably made these like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we didn't want to put it so far ahead on people's radar that they forget about it. So
Sure.
we're trying to find the sweet spot of like putting up the banner and putting up the signs where people will see it and be like, oh, that's in a few weeks. I'm gonna make it. Whereas
Yeah.
if they drive by it every day for 8 weeks, they're not gonna remember.
Yeah, yeah, it becomes part of the whole,
Right.
becomes part of the environment there.
The advertising campaign part of it is gonna explode 2 or 3 weeks prior to the 29th. And
Awesome.
Daniel graciously volunteered to do a quick interview with the,
With the what?
With
with,
a cable. A
Cable.
cable.
Oh, nice.
to do a video,
Nice.
get a bunch of groups
Absolutely.
out, get the word out.
Get the word out.
Thank
Encourage
you,
everyone
Daniel.
together.
I'll take a
You are
couple
quite
extra
welcome.
flyers afterwards,
Yeah.
that way I can
Anytime.
I have a whole book.
post, yeah. Thank you.
Thank
you so
want
much.
more than that.
So yeah, please get the word out.
Yep,
And thank you,
I'll
Emily.
be
Emily,
reaching
she's
out.
put together and Maritza. There you
yep, so everyone reach out to wherever you can and get as much people as we can. But I like it that we're doing it in the spring and the fall, and twice a year,
Yeah.
instead of just the one. I think that's great.
I like that it's a reoccurring thing.
Exactly, yep, yep. Exactly, but yeah, great job, Emily.
Thank you.
Great job, Melissa.
Thank you.
Okay. Agenda item number 8, to discuss whether to amend current regulations on tobacco use, including restricting use, access on the prohibition of smoking bars. I'm going to make a motion to table this, if that's acceptable. If anyone else wants to make a motion to that,
I'll make the motion to table this.
thank you.
Have a second? Thank you. Jasmine Canonas,
Yes.
Paige Schutka,
Yes.
Nicole Duffy,
Yes,
Jan Grabowski,
Yes,
and Anthony Bastelli.
Okay.
Motion passes.
okay. And agenda item number 9, to discuss the process of issuing permits to determine if this is to be amended. I'm gonna actually make a motion to table this. Do I have a second motion?
motion to table it.
Yep.
Table
motion to
agenda item number 9.
Yep. Do I have a second motion?
Second. How many times can you table something? Is there some rules around that? I always thought you can only so many times. I don't know. That's
Specifically, I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but I know that we've tabled things like for
I'm just talking about
really long time.
I guess
We
it's
have-
following the rule.
We have, well, it's just especially Tony's not here, so.
Yes, of course.
So, yeah.
All right.
It could, because we need a quorum to vote, so.
What is is 3 your quorum? Or
Well,
5?
if it's like a 2-2, yeah, we're
Then
not
that's
gonna
a
be able to,
problem. Right, then
yeah.
we'll need to wait.
If
Yes.
the motion
Exactly,
doesn't
yeah.
pass
We
it.
need an odd number.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
Tony's good at this stuff
Yeah.
anyway.
Jan Grabowski,
Yes,
Paige Schutka,
Yes.
Nicole Duffy,
Yes.
Jasmine Canonas,
Yes.
Anthony Bastelli is excused. Motion
Yeah.
passes.
Okay. So the next agenda item is number 10, to discuss the input for usage of opioid funds. So I know the last we spoke of this, we were talking about, kind of like a first contact person. I know we were talking about kind of like the social worker thing, but I know Jasmine, you were talking about,
How much
more
money is there?
specifically.
is
I know,
there
that was the other
involved?
question to that.
10,000.
It's 10,000, and that has to be utilized by when?
That I do not know. That's the funds which, again, in
Just for
discussion
the
with.
opioid?
Yeah,
That's
with
10,000.
Michael, the previous town manager.
That's total 10,000 for the opioid, or for that position?
No, that was the settlement funds that came in to the town, the state settlement funds, which were allocated to each and individual municipality in the Commonwealth.
Seemed like very much.
That's
No. I
all
thought-
the information, and
Yeah,
then
no, I thought it was a
unfortunately,
lot more than
just
that.
everything
Yeah,
changed. And I may be wrong, and I hope I am, but yeah, because it doesn't seem that large of an amount.
right.
But
That's why I was thinking, like, were they talking about that part-time position? Because that's
and,
not a lot, yeah.
and what I recollect in that discussion with the previous town manager, that it essentially, the idea was to use this money for a social work position.
10,000?
That will get you as a consultant.
That's why, yeah.
I was gonna
I-
say,
that's what I was
that's not
saying, yeah,
much, that's on
yeah.
a consultant basis.
And I could be wrong, I'd have to look into it to exactly know
Yeah.
the amount. I know the discussions that were had were again centered for the usage and appropriation of this money.
Yeah.
That's where certainly the advisement of the Board of Health would be important. Your thoughts on this? How to really use that money, with the understanding we don't have any experts or specialists in-house right now to do it.
Yeah,
And that's
I
not
really,
annually, that's just one and done?
yeah, I think
So it's
so.
like when
I
if you put
think
someone
so.
I
I
think
think
so.
it could be a
I think
one
it-
and
I
done.
think it's a one and
Again,
done,
I'd
yeah.
have to investigate that.
Yeah,
Um,
but I could have sworn it was a
I
lot
thought it was
more.
30, remember that?
Yeah,
Was it
I
30?
could have sworn
That's
it was a
what
lot
I remember
more.
our last conversation.
Was it 30?
Yeah, that's
I've
right.
seen
I
some.
recall that was a conversation.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, it's like,
Jasmine, do you remember?
I've seen an
I've seen
amount.
it 30, actually.
Remember you were like, oh, that's, I can get
That's,
someone
yeah,
for
yeah,
that.
and so that's what I was,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's what I'm saying,
and
yeah,
so
I'm like,
it's
I
was
remember
last
that a
summer.
whole
That
lot
was
more.
in my mind.
Now this, and I maybe stand here to be corrected, but on the ARPA allocation, there was a line there that was approved for 10,000 for opiates.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Maybe that's where.
so this may increase the 30,000 to 40.
Okay,
Um,
okay. Could we double check
But I
that to
think
make,
I'd stand here to be corrected.
could we
to
double check that
on
to make sure
It's like,
exactly the amounts,
and
yeah.
the timeline and when
Yeah.
you need to spend
And then
it.
what I can do
Yeah.
for the next time around is, I could tell you, through like some of the opioid work that we have done at work, like what that breakdown looks like on a
That'd be
consultant basis,
Right.
you know, like when we doing educational, like how much it would cost for us to hire somebody that's either going to the schools or like doing something at the library, or if we want to make like opioid crisis materials or giving out Narcan, you know, and I can share that with the group,
Sure,
you know.
sure.
Because I know a lot of towns too, like I've been doing Narcan kits where they have
That,
like,
I really, yeah. I
So
really-
would you say, in all honesty, it's better to know the amount and
Oh,
take the
absolutely.
amount and then
Yeah, we need to.
position
know.
ourselves as we
Yeah,
can do
yeah.
with that amount,
Yeah,
not
right,
vice
yeah.
versa,
Yeah, we
right?
can't decide
And
on
be
anything unless
overly
we know what our
hopeful and
amounts.
have it-
Yeah, we need to know
Right,
what we're working
right,
with, yeah.
right.
because if they
We need to
only give
know.
us $10,000, but we have to utilize that
Uh-huh.
in 3 years, and like it's, let's just say it's like a year or two, we have to divide that.
Right, and again, I don't know the particulars whether, you know, what I should say is that the Board of Health is a starting point. I don't know if the previous town manager made other attempts with other departments or entities to use this
Oh,
money.
oh, so we,
Again,
yeah, we gotta
he first,
clarify
right,
that,
it's,
yeah.
it's not solidified that
Right.
it'll be all
Okay.
used by,
Us, yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Right.
Also, we wanna
So-
find out for sure, yeah.
when again, this preliminary discussion happened, it was him coming to me and saying, Daniel, do you have ideas other than what I have? And my idea is to have a social worker, someone, that profession,
Yeah.
profession placed.
Yeah, I
to
remember
do
the
work.
email that he sent
Right.
out, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember the email, yeah.
And after that, there was really no follow-up.
I mean, and it also may be
Discussions.
worth, depending on the amount, is like, why recreate the wheel if you have it? It might be worth giving like an organization a lump sum of money to do mobile crisis for you on a
That's true.
opioid basis, or,
Yeah.
you know, like if you're talking about short money, you know what I mean? So, but,
Yeah.
you know, so like, and I'm just throwing this out there,
Sure.
like, let's say, you paid my organization $10,000, then I would be available to make sure that I handled all, you know, opioid crisis, you know, referrals and, you know, so, because you're
Yeah.
talking about short money, you know,
Yeah.
so, because you're not going to get a social worker to be on call and the type of hours that
Yeah.
you're gonna be looking for 10 grand.
Yeah, well,
So,
yeah, yeah.
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
You know, my 16-year-old made, you know, my 16-year-old made
Understood.
$13,000 at
Understood.
Pizza Chef last year.
Exactly.
That's good money.
I think Nicole's right, that
Yeah.
it was that 30,000
I
and,
think
Yeah.
it was about that.
but overall, yes, I'll definitely investigate and find out
Yeah.
collectively how much is available for these
and what the
ideas.
stipulations are. Sometimes some of these grants come with
Yeah.
like some really high. Like,
Right, right, and again,
stipulations,
this
yeah.
one, so we're looking at two aspects. This would not be a grant, it's that money allocated from the
Oh,
settlement.
right,
Right,
that's
from
right,
the
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then coupled
Yes.
with the fact there, I know,
Yeah.
because I looked at the list for the ARPA funding, that there
Yeah.
was an approval for $10,000.
Right.
Gotcha.
Where that specifically is to be allocated, I don't know, but it is in dealing with opiates.
Yeah, we need to know
Yeah.
exactly what
So-
we have to spend on each and what the criteria is for each, what our limits are.
Yeah, and then we're
'Cause then we
happy
can
to
decide,
brainstorm.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. Then we can decide.
That's the easy part because I can bring you like our graphs and then you can say, okay, well, this is. I mean, this is what we do for work.
Yeah.
So.
And also, I mean, I
Okay.
understood it as it can be ongoing, but if there's a cutoff, we
Yeah,
need to know if there's cutoffs with
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's
I
another
don't
thing
know.
too.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they're like, oh, by April 30th, you need to,
Yeah.
you know.
Or they'll like post it or something like a week before or something. We
Well,
won't know
sometimes you
until
can ask for
afterwards.
extensions too, depending, but, you know, and
Yeah.
you can write things off like materials and things, but, you know, you just want to be specific because the easy part is just to tell you,
Yeah.
oh, this is like how other towns allocate, you know,
Yeah.
for this, you
Yeah.
know, with no
Okay.
problem.
I have a question.
Yes.
Like that $10,000, I noticed, like on TV, with spring break, they give out Narcan kits
Right,
for those who might
overdose.
overdose.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you really can't, I don't know if those are donated by the state or you have to buy them or whatever, but, you know, if you can't hire anybody for $10,000, maybe. But then again, that's like telling, almost like saying, well, here, if you're OD, this is,
Yeah.
because you know people aren't gonna stop unless they check themselves in. That's just a matter of fact. Unless they get help, they're
Yeah.
gonna continue, but if they're gonna continue, maybe they can save their own lives. I mean,
I agree.
I mean, that's just a thought. I don't, because I really don't know how that works. I
Yeah,
know-
Narcan's already available through Spectrum.
So is it free or is it?
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's free,
so-
yeah.
so,
But
okay.
if you're making up kits that require you to print materials out and bagging and all that, you know, you can have monies allocated, you know, like to whatever it is that
Right.
you're doing, even though you may get the actual product like for free. But if you're also buying it in bulk, sometimes you have to pay a certain percentage because in order to utilize Narcan appropriately through organization, you actually have to go through a process. Like it's like you have to fill out paperwork and you know it's data that's involved and all kinds of things. So you know, so Spectrum gives them out for free, but they've already collected the type of data that they need in order to distribute
I got you.
500 Narcans. You know, so
Can
so-
someone literally like call them up or go there and say, hey, can you
Oh
give me a
yeah,
couple? They can
yeah,
do that. Okay.
yeah.
No,
And you
that's good
can-
to know.
And you can go to the fire
That's good to know,
departments, and
yeah.
you can go to
Yeah,
the police
I
departments.
don't know if you have to
and-
pay
yeah.
for them or.
Emily, do you think you could add that to our website, just that information about the Narcan? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's important for people to know, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, so if we can find out how much and criteria and what our cutoff, that'd be great. But I hear what you're saying though, is that, okay, yep, there's the opioid money, and then there's something with the ARPA that's also giving their part. I get what you're talking about, but yeah,
Two
I
separate
wanna,
things.
yeah, but I wanna know, yeah, we need to know
Yeah, we
exactly
can
what
get
that is.
clarification, I'll do my best.
Yeah, whatever you can do.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And, let's see. Agenda item, well, we touched a little bit on that. Agenda item number 11, discussing the ARPA funds project, the homeless shelter. So we're.
Well, I have many different proposals for the
Okay.
ARPA usage.
Okay,
And that is not solely indicative of what the health department needs, because I also had to involve the building department with their needs. And right now, just today, I put in a request to be on the agenda for the ARPA meeting that's coming up April 6th.
oh, okay.
Okay, but the proposals really,
Where's that, where's the meeting gonna be, by the way? April 6th, what is that?
Well, that trash meeting's at 6 o'clock, so would it even be?
I think it's at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock in
4
this
o'clock,
room.
I don't know, I
Okay.
don't know. They haven't I had to get, the requests from inspectional services to, on the agenda. I had to get them to Abigail from accounting to be on the agenda by next week. So
Okay.
I've sent them in today, and I can share that there's 4 requests, and mostly they're centered on equipment. And equipment ranging from signage, we're looking at a LED sign that is a messaging sign. They're used in many municipalities, and they're used for the community to identify all sorts of messages, whether they're emergencies, whether they're just statements from different departments, etc. And our hope, our theory, is to use one of these for our benefit for inspection services, predominantly the health department, and have it constructed out front in the town hall. And then now, along with messaging, there's graphics, and it's a really great avenue to get the word out.
Can we use, but I'm just curious, you know, the sign that I think they have one up right now, like talking about the kindergarten sign up. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
He's talking about a permanent fixture.
It's a permanent
Oh,
fixture.
okay, gotcha.
It's
schools
electronic,
have
so
them.
it's
Okay.
all like,
It's
it'll
permanent,
have to
okay.
have an underground conduit. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They look like a television.
Yeah, well, the schools have them.
Yes.
Oh, I
And
see what you
right,
mean.
fire
I-
departments have
okay.
them,
I see
right,
what
right.
you're
What's
Okay.
gonna be the consensus with like your neighbors though? Like, is it gonna be like, oh, it's too bright, like the lights?
Well,
going into
there
the-
are factors to play. There's the historical commission. There is certainly approval from the ARPA meeting members and the committee there, and then certainly the town council. So this is definitely not guaranteed. Again, this is a proposal. What we'd
Okay.
like to see
Right.
to increase outreach and education and our messaging. I think it would be very advantageous for, again, getting the word out. Something like this.
But it would be specific to the Board of Health?
No, actually,
For the
it
town
would be
hall.
a shared
Yeah,
shared
sure.
one. But I
Okay.
mean, if we look at it, it would be the Board of Health, our staff, that would control the messaging. There's
Oh,
only
how
like
cool is
one
that?
one controller, right?
I'm
And
celebrating
certainly, if
something.
we feel that if it's put out there and everyone sees it, they're all going to be wanting to place out, which is fine and dandy. But they're not cheap. The cost of it with installation is 35 to 40,000,
Jeez.
and that's for just
So
the
that's-
regular model.
So that's one of the proposals that they're considering, is that what you're saying?
Well, this
Consider money?
is going to be a list that I put together and forwarded to the county, Abigail, that works there. That will put me on the agenda for the next ARPA meeting is the 6th. So that in conjunction with another list that I have where I have really assessed that both departments, building and health, are deficient of personal protective equipment,
Good, let's see.
essentials, far deficient. And even field equipment that is used, probes, meters, thermometers. We are way behind the 8 ball, way behind.
Yeah, look at your emergency prepared when we were doing that, I was like, whoa.
For example, we're
Yeah.
nothing.
Nothing.
So my
Yeah.
strategy is to build on that and take advantage of this opportunity to receive the funds. And again, this is contingent upon many variables, but the discussions I'm more than willing to participate in and hopefully bear fruit and move forward.
Okay, so you got the monitor and you got the supplies
We have a vehicle.
and a vehicle on there?
This one would be an inspectional vehicle. We have one right now that has been used for predominantly the landfill. That's what she calls she. But that vehicle has been used quite a bit, and it's on its last leg. We're trying to keep it alive, so to speak. So again, the opportunity arises. We're asking that a vehicle be considered. Now, these, after the research I've done, everything that I'm requesting falls within the parameters and the scope of the ARPA funding. All in alignment with this. So the consideration is really within house. And what I understand now, there's a bit of flexibility with our spending. So I believe these are logical and rational
So
Yeah,
when
proposals.
when you're saying all these proposals, are you saying like we have to choose one versus the other, or not
No,
we
no.
per se, but they could essentially be all covered by this? By
They
the monies?
could, in
Okay.
theory, they could be all denied, or they pick and choose.
Okay. Because how much money are we? Do you know the figure?
The figure, again, off the top of my head,
Yeah.
what I just submitted was over 110,000. Now, I understand that it's looked at as a lot of money, but if you look at the list,
That's what I'm
that
saying, right?
110K
that
is
was
nothing.
given,
Not
right?
generous, yeah.
Okay, that's a
Yeah,
positive.
nothing.
The approvals in that list, they were all in increments of 25, 50, upwards up to 250,000
Right.
plus. And all very valid, solid proposals that were approved. And I think we have, we could be in the running and get approved. And we have a good shot at it. That's what I'm getting at. There's also a proposal that's going to be coming forward, I hope, tomorrow through Anna Smith, our landfill monitor, and it pertains to adding more inspectors that will be directed toward solid waste management program and enforcement. And Dan, as you know, being a part of the ad hoc trash committee, this has been identified as a concern for the town, meaning what will the health department do and be able to do should conditions worsen in regards to trash littering and other actions such as legal dumping, and could be the catalyst or the adverse cause of any of the movements with the trash committee.
One of the big things we have with the trash committee is when people drive by in our town, you see these bins that are like this. Mike, Daniel had some photos last week. The reason why they're like that, it's because no one's recycling. So once you get the new trash program, because you're gonna have the same thing with the yellow bags, unless someone does something to monitor, because everyone's just throwing in stuff. Because those pictures that Dan had, you could see you could see shoes, you could see bottles, boxes. So this will, once we get the enforcement, you won't see that anymore because either they're gonna get fined, and those fines have to stick somehow, or the trash won't get picked up. That's just the way it is. It's gonna be one of those two. So that's what causes that, because a lot of people say, look at these people are, the slobs, they don't care, they don't nothing. Well, no one's recycling. And the reason why no one's recycling, because there's no enforcement. We need the enforcement, because we're gonna have the same thing with the yellow bags. Don't,
Agreed,
food
agreed.
bins over for food bins,
Sure,
right?
sure,
I
there's-
recycle, I'm sure everybody in here recycles.
I agree, and that,
I mean, I don't like it, because sometimes you get these little bottles and you can't get the water in there, so how you know, it's monotonous, and the reason why, but it's gotta be done. You know what I mean?
well, this is identified as an opportunity for the health department to look at right now, proactively, and see what we can do to address and align ourselves for possibly the very worst. The outcome being, again, the influx of litter, trash accumulations, illegal dumpings, et cetera, et cetera. So, again, through this committee, the concerns have been identified, and again, it's a proposal we're looking at, and not just be centered about enforcement, but outreach and education. So
Right.
we have proactive proactive movements and reactive movements, which is the enforcement. That is another one.
So let me ask you this, so how are we doing as far as, I don't know how we've had phone calls or any complaints about like, when we were talking about like specific address, like, hey, this is over here, that's over here, and, you know, following up on that,
They
how are we
have
doing with
increased.
that?
We're doing good, very good with the team we have.
Well,
But it has
has there
increased
been, that's what I was gonna ask, has there
in
been
the
increase,
last,
decrease?
and I see the increase in the last month and a half plus, give or take.
Okay,
It's very apparent, and I've made a thorough drive-through today in towns and
okay,
saw all the opportunities to improve, such as
okay.
Dan said,
Have
the
they all,
mounding, the overflow of trash.
have they all
They call it
been,
snow coning.
have you got have you been able to, or anyone been able to see each one of them, or are they still working on that as far as
To see each
It's-
location.
each, yeah,
We have visited the ones, yes.
okay, so those have
And
been
we're gonna
addressed.
follow up with
Okay.
orders to correct.
Okay, so they've all been addressed, all the complaints that have all been,
As
okay.
much, as far as we know, and the challenges, new ones pop up. So as you
Right.
see one particularly on a road, and you
Mhm.
believe there's one or two dwellings that, are in non-compliance,
Right,
you'll find that there's 3 or 4.
right. Yeah, just the ones that they definitely called, they complained, those have been addressed, those have been looked at, and those have been,
Well, again, yes, we
Okay.
do our best to
Okay.
address them in a timely fashion, meaning that day or the next day, we can get to them, certainly.
okay,
Yeah, there has been, we always receive the complaints, but it's mostly centered, on our work driving around town,
okay,
being proactive and finding these violations and non-compliance issues before there's official complaints. But it is a mixed bag, and
have there been a lot of fines, or,
well, the fines, that's a whole nother point of contention and a whole other issue.
okay,
Because the fines have not been being paid. So we've been issuing fines for years now, and no one has paid them. And significant amounts of punitive damages that have not, again, been followed through by the individuals.
now has that been the topic of the ad hoc meetings as far as
Yes.
like, okay, what do we do with that? What's
Yes.
been the consensus with that? What do we-
In the consensus is that we have to move forward with municipal charges lien. That's a deterrent. And I'm addressing that with
Yeah, I remember Andy
Charlie
talked about that.
Charlie Blanchard,
Oh, yeah.
the interim town manager, which I will be meeting with, but ultimately, my understanding is that this has to go through town council for full approval.
Okay,
I've taken all the initiatives with our special counsel, Rob Caprera, when he was with our department. He assured me that, all the legal nomenclature, wording is already defined in our bylaws and applicable regulations that state that this can be done. I just have to bridge departments to make sure this is done, because essentially once a year, I will give them a list of the unpaid fines. We
Okay,
do monitor, their files and should there be, appeals, et cetera. But if not, that list will be forwarded to the treasurers, collectors, and assessors departments
okay,
to move forward with these liens.
okay,
Without going to court
yep.
and spending,
Yeah, oh, no, I know this has been discussed before. Yeah.
yes, I think I addressed it the last time, now it's moving forward
Okay.
with that. So that is a part of our
Okay.
strategy to handle the waste, the solid waste issues.
Okay,
And gonna be coupled with housing issues and other sectors in public health that we have to enforce.
okay. All right, thank you. Does anyone else have any questions or issues or anything? Alrighty. And actually, you know what, just to kind of make mention of the homeless shelter itself, has there been any more talk about that in specific or no?
No, that's an idea that I think has the potential to resonate with many citizens here in Southbridge. I honestly can tell you I am not an expert in that field. I do acknowledge that moving with such an endeavor would be quite costly. Whether erecting a whole new building, converting, but the staff, etc. This would, if we were to move forward with it, we would need a really a solid plan and someone that possibly has more knowledge in creating and managing such a facility.
I was just wondering if there was any talk from any other entities or anything like that, regarding
No.
that? Okay,
But what I'd like to just reiterate to the board, board members, is it's a time now, if you have any requests that you feel strongly that we should all talk about, to put on the ARPA request list. The money right now, as I understand, went from $5 million plus dollars. It's down to $1,200,000. And I don't know how many other requests have come in. So I would say time is of the essence.
And we'll just send those to you, like
Yes.
if we have an
the
idea.
ideas, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And again, any documentation that substantiate the
Yeah.
request,
mhm.
anything you could put together.
Well, my hope is
Okay.
that,
You know,
when I
um,
extend the invitation to the other, like I said, to you Inc. and, to Open Sky, and possibly, Luke's Guest House, if we're here, possibly maybe something could come of that, that can kind of help in
Sure,
that
I
area.
understand,
Yeah,
I agree.
because again, I agree with Jasmine when it comes to, hey, why recreate the wheel if, there's other,
Yeah, I know
avenues,
that
you know.
St. Luke's Guest House even here was looking to like expand their
Mhm.
operation, and so
yeah, yeah, Yeah.
Alls I can tell you is from that list, the requests and the approvals, there was United Way for certain activities, and other social entities on that list that were granted money. Certainly,
You mean
I have,
aside from ARPA, or are you talking
no,
about?
ARPA.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
Certainly, I have the list if you're, if
we
anyone's
took we
interested.
have an ARPA grant that's coming through for mental health ban.
Huh?
Yep. And so
Yeah,
ARPA's been dishing out.
Yeah, you are right, they have, yeah,
we
absolutely.
just gotta spend it before it goes.
Yeah, well,
I,
Before they find somewhere else to put it, right? Okay,
so, yeah, again, just to reiterate,
okay,
what our department, our departments, health and building are trying to is again build within our own infrastructure, improve equipment. The last one was something that we really need a printer in our office.
Yeah.
I've given you this, and this was all mumbo jumbo, hate to say it, because of the fact we have a community printer in our printing room, and everyone uses it, and everyone loses
Yeah, I gotcha.
copies. It's very inefficient and ineffective. So
No
that's
admin
another
budget?
request of
What?
the
You don't
fight.
have an admin budget? Guess not. Guess it runs zero. Well,
Again, these are proposals, ideas.
Yeah,
We're hoping for the best.
yeah, so we need to know how much, what's our criteria, and,
yeah,
yeah,
that's what basics.
before we go shopping, right?
Before you go shopping.
Before you go
Yeah.
shopping,
How
you
much
need
is
to know how
on
much you
there?
have, and. what
Right,
you need,
exactly,
and You go
exactly.
for that,
I
exactly.
need that breakdown.
Yep. You check out your coupons, right?
Yeah, I mean, you need a printer
Any other
first,
enter- yeah,
first and
exactly.
foremost, before anything.
Any other entities can help us before we go here,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Agenda item number 12, health director's announcement.
Well, the announcements, I think I've done.
No, no, no,
Covered.
yeah.
That's what I thought.
I just, a
Yeah,
review,
pretty much
it
just
is,
did it, yeah.
it is moving forward the municipal charges liens, that move that I'm initiating. It is the ARPA, and it is the blighted properties.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, agenda item number 13, chair announcements. I don't have any other announcements. I think that was covered in
Yeah.
prior. Dan, do you have anything?
Yes, a meeting for the, supposedly, the ad hoc meeting is gonna be April 6th, at 6 PM in this room.
Okay,
It's gonna be one agenda item, from what I gather, and it's gonna be, we're gonna present to the town council for the trash proposal. Although the town council's gonna, decide on their own, we are split as far as two councils. One council wants this, the other council wants that. So when both councils go up to the town council, they're both gonna be lobbying for what they want. So, and as far as when it comes down to the two, I mean, pretty much, there's no bad solution, it really comes down to preference. Who wants what? It's either blue or black, you know what I mean? It's just, so ultimately, whatever the town council picks, it'll be good. But it's just nitpicking as far as what you want. So that'll be April 6th. As far as bringing up different things, we pretty much brought up everything that there is down to
Yeah.
to the wording on the bag.
Yes, we did.
I mean, we had people coming in with presentations, and there's nothing else to talk about, and plus that's our deadline. If it does go onto the tax rate, so we can get it voted on, but if it doesn't go onto the tax rate and it goes towards the flat rate with the bags, then it just pretty much has to be approved. So this is why it has to be proposed, just in case the town council decides to put the amount on the taxes, because people have to vote on that, because the taxes will increase. But that's just pretty much, the flat rate will just go onto the taxes, or flat rate. With the flat rate, people have a choice to opt out. So if people opt out and don't like the program, then of course the people who stay in, the costs will go up. And as far as the taxes,
Right.
once that amount goes onto the taxes, then they can opt out. So that's pretty much where we're at.
so it's just how to pay for it.
Right, so, I mean, there's only one agenda item for those who want to show up. We have a lot of
Probably
input
go,
from
yeah.
the community, and the community does help out because they're honest. They're not here to just like, ask little questions. Some of them just, ask some
I've seen it, yeah. I've
some
been
good
here, yeah,
questions. So that's so our meeting, should be one of the last ones for a while. For those who want to show up, or for
Yeah.
those who want to be
Yeah, I
here.
popped in the last one, I heard,
But
yeah.
I would think a lot of people will be here to, that's just for those, I'll be here.
Absolutely, okay, great.
So that's all I have to say. And one more thing, I
Yeah.
like the date on the Beautify Southbridge, April 29th, towards later in the spring. So,
Yeah.
hopefully by then we should have like 65, 70 weather and not raining.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So kudos to this. And that's all I have to say.
Great, thank you. Paige,
I'm good, thank you.
all set? Jess,
I talked. I'm good.
you're spent?
I'm spent.
All right, next item, we're gonna schedule the next meeting. Are there any Anyone have certain days that they cannot do for, I know, that was May you're
That's in
talking
May.
about, yeah.
And if you need me, I mean, I can certainly go over the phone, that's not a problem. If
It
that's-
shouldn't be a problem.
Okay,
It shouldn't be a problem.
sorry about that.
But no, I appreciate that. So that's the second Thursday of that month is the 13th of April. Is that good for everybody or does it not work?
No, no, I'm.
All right, you want to pick another day?
How about the 20th? It seems like we're going to the third week of August.
I know, that's
Are you okay
okay.
with that or
I'm
no? If you're
okay
not,
with the 20th. Is everyone else okay with that?
Are you guys?
Dan, does that work for
Oh,
you?
there's no,
Okay.
any day works for me.
Jasmine, does that work for you? April
It
20th?
does, okay. Thanks.
Why don't we do that, April 20th,
Thank
6
you very
p.m.?
much.
All right, thank you. And I'll send a message to Tony. All right. So next meeting, April 20th, 6 p.m. Okay. Make a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion?
I'll second it.
Okay,
Nicole Duffy,
yes,
Jasmine Canonis,
Yes.
Pete Schutka,
Yes.
Dan Grabowski.
Yes.
okay. 7:26 p.m., meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.